Okay, so NQ, Nasdaq. You can see here, similar to ES, we were in a real strong bullish uptrend. You can see the daily here broke that structure, and then we eventually got that pullback this year into the 382. The S&P managed to make it down to the zero point 0.5, but this thing just made it to the 0.382, and just shot off from there. Hasn't looked back in November, as you can see, just off it goes. Take a little bit closer look in, you can see we're working within this 4-hour swing range now. We broke this low here. That was our last strong high, broke that high there. So now this broke the structure. This becomes our strong low, and this becomes a case of waiting for the high to really be put in before we get that pullback, and then we get that next major higher low. So you can see here, obviously we're running into some supply. It's been tested before, some more here. You can see the reactions happening, but really, although we are very high up and extended in this move, we're so close now at 92-95% of this whole move, that I just expect, if we've come this far, we may as well go and get the highs. So I fully expect the yearly highs to go, so before we get that pullback. So I think it's a case of be very careful trying to short the NQ. I think that's a very bad idea. It's been a very bad idea for the past month. Fully expecting these highs to go. There may be a short opportunity when we take that liquidity, but it's still very risky. If you are going to short, be very, very, very quick and careful. I think the pullback will come eventually, but it may come as we reach into these higher regions here around 16.6, which is a nice supply zone. Could come up, take the liquidity, and then make another move for it, or we could just do it in one go. You know, we don't know what's going to happen, but at that point we will get an idea of potential tops for this, short-term tops for the eventual pullback, because the pullback will come eventually. Look a bit closer in again. This is the 15-minute. You can see we're working within this sort of range here. We've had some demand here that bounced, some demand here that bounced again yesterday. You've had the New York initial balance, you've initiated out, you've hit some supply, you come back down, bounced out demand here. Very similar to the ES setup. I'm looking at this demand zone here. That is below the Asia lows, but you'll notice that the NQ moves quite violently, so it is a good chance if we do come below those Asia lows, we do fill that gap there, we jump into this level here. There's definitely an area I'm interested in longs. A little bit of confluence to that. You can see that we've got previous day point of control lining up with that 15-minute demand where I just talked about. But for now, we're just holding above these daily opens. We made a move up. There's nothing really to short at the minute, so that's it, to be honest. There's not really a lot to go on. I would like it to pull back so I can get into some long positions, and yeah, I'm fully expecting this to be gone. You know, you've got the previous week high here. That's potentially an area to look for a potential swing failure pattern. But you know, we're just banging into resistance, and price is extremely bullish. So you know, when can we reasonably expect that we may actually be making that shift downwards? Well, clearly enough, we start breaking and holding below these lows. These lows yesterday were quite critical, so start breaking and holding below there, then we start losing below here. If you look at these lows here, they're obviously a bunch of liquidity here, so if you come and you sweep those lows, that'd be quite a nice potential long opportunity. But you've got to be mindful, if you start closing below here, then there's definitely the potential we are going to be making that much more extended move down, because as you can see from this screenshot here, it hasn't even had any meaningful retrace at all. You know, we're working within this low and this high here at the minute, but this high could just keep extending as far as it wants, really. But if you start breaking below these lows here, these lows, then it's definitely looking a lot more likely that well, it's the probabilities shift to the downside, and it's a lot more likely we're going to start seeing these lower retraces. But for now, just play the trend. Very similar setup to ES. Look out for the Asia lows, potential bounce off the previous day point of control with the demand there. And yeah, that's NQ.